Some Kickstarters that we have to give you this week for our Kickstarter Pickstarter segment. The first one is quite a big fella. It's called Lords of Hellas, and this comes from Awakened Realms, who I just got in the mail their This War of Mine game, and they're ready to go with this one. And
you actually got a miniature for this.
That's right. One of the things that they sent out with that was a little promo figure from this game, which to whet my appetite for it, and boy did it. The theme of this game essentially is ancient Greek mythology, gods, and monsters, only the idea is that you discover the ancient Greek gods are actually aliens who came down from outer space and gave their technology to people rather than gods giving their magic. It's basically a territory control game. You all have a different army with different powers, and you're trying to take over the board. The thing that separates it, I think, well, there's a few things. Number one is those miniatures, which are a big part of the game. There are many of them, and some of them are quite large. And so one of the things you could do is construct a monument, and you literally, like Legends of the Hidden Temple, assembling the monkey style, turn by turn, you're putting arms and building a monument, and they're big for the board, which I think is cool.
Can you build it faster, though?
That is the challenge. And no, you can't. It's one turn at a time.
That still might be able to build it before some of those kids.
You got a good point. You also have multiple win conditions. So you aren't going to be, for instance, a lot of these games, like these Risk-style games, sometimes you look at the board and you can say, well, clearly that guy is going to win because he has 17 armies on the board and I don't. On this one, there are multiple different types of land that if you control, you could win. You could also win, for instance, by just killing a certain amount of monsters, which maybe doesn't require as much land. So there are different ways you can go about that. There's also things like quests you can complete that are based on some of the myths. Really cool stuff. It looks like a giant, beautiful game with a cool theme. It's very expensive. The core set.
You said lots of miniatures, so.
Yeah, the core set is $106, roughly US, and that doesn't include shipping. And if you want their cool new patented Sundrop mini painting technology, which looks gorgeous, the whole set will cost you $154. So really big one. I am attracted to this just based on how great this War of Mine looks. Yeah, but I don't, at $100, it's a tough sell, because you probably have a lot of games in this genre, I would say, if you're a gamer already. But I think if you are willing to put up the money, these guys probably won't let you down. That's my guess, and it looks really cool.
I mean, they were great for this War of Mine. So
yeah. So I think you'll be able to trust them. So check out Lords of Hellas if you like that sort of thing. And next up,
Next up is Biologic. In this game, each player would take over a different sort of disease, I guess you could say. One's like a virus, one's bacteria, one's actually even like nanobots and stuff.
Okay.
And pretty much you're going through the human body, just who can be the deadliest thing. And there's different tiles representing different parts of the body, like the brain, the heart, and obviously those are the final tiles you want to get control of. And you can actually fight each other to gain more power and evolve. So to me, it looked like this really cool, beautiful, remind me a lot, of course, of the Rick and Morty episode that is also getting a board game.
Right, Anatomy Park.
Yeah, but just because it's not actually laid out human, the tiles are random and stuff, so it's not always just like, okay, I know this leads to there. Which, while maybe not perfect, I still think is a little bit more fun because it brings more variety to the board game.
It's sort of like Osmosis Jones.
But that too, except you're on the bad side.
But you are all in the same person's body, so it's just one unfortunate.
Yeah, one really bad, unfortunate person. But it looked really cool and had a lot of all these interesting mechanics of combating, how to evolve by either owning the spot or you have to actually beat the antibodies on the spot. So I thought it looked really cool.
That sounds fun. Biologic, that goes for $59. Check that one out. Next up, this one is called Pocket Ops, and this is perhaps the opposite of my other pick. It's very small. It has pocket in the title. It is essentially tic-tac-toe. You have a 3x3 board, and one player is red, one player is blue, and you're trying to get 3 in a row to win. Where the difference comes in is...
I really hope there's a difference.
There's a difference. That's it. It's go back. It's $99. No. The difference is before your opponent plays, you have a series of cards, and you get to guess where you think they're going to go. And if you're correct, their move is canceled. So if they're definitely going to get 3 in a row, and well, you're going to say, well, I'm not going to let them go there. But then they might say, oh, well, he's not going to let me go there, so I wouldn't go there. But then maybe he'll try to
it's a very mind game kind of game, yeah.
And there's also special pieces in there that could have abilities, like they can push other people's pieces off the board or move them. And the theme is a spy theme. You're trying to like steal secret equipment from this lab or whatever it is. But it's a simple, fun pocket game.
I mean, bravo for trying to make tic-tac-toe interesting.
Yeah, exactly, and it's what it sounds like succeeding. It goes for only $14.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, if you want to try that one out, Pocket Ops. I know we've got a couple outside the box.
Yeah,
picks.
This one is the Atlas Animalia, I think I pronounce it, because I can't say words. But what really drew me to this one is the way it works is looked at Pathfinder and D&D as well. I mean, you know, they sort of share their creatures. And instead of just being a monster manual with the usual, here are the stats and the things on that, while there is, you can pay, I think, like $5 extra to get a sheet for stats on them, what it did, it took like 20 creatures, like, for example, the owlbear, which you can sort of see on there, and wrote a bunch of different species about them, and it like showed their anatomy and like actually like a cut through the muscles and stuff, and how they would react, an Arctic version or like a plains version or a panda owlbear, which they have a picture of, which is adorable. And I just thought it was so cool because it was much more of a actual like science tome on these creatures.
So it's more like what if like Darwin discovered the
a little bit, yeah, and it lets you really have these fun adaptations from like owlbear. Someone I know, I'm blanking on the name of the cat with the tentacles and something, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blanking on the name of them, but like in different environments, and which is really cool because it lets you take it almost like, you know how Monster Hunter has the alternate species depending on the environment. It's like that.
The Alolan forms of monsters?
Yeah, it's the Alolan forms. And I believe it's $15 for just the PDF, $20 if you have this sheet with the stats, but you could probably just make the stats because they are just almost copying.
And I believe it is $50 if you want a real hardcover.
Yeah.
Nice version.
But I mean, take a look because the art is beautiful in there. Like I said, like the one page shows they showed an example like for like a land shark creature. It shows it popping up on the bottom. It shows like the skeletal function. It shows it like the muscles on it. It was like really like it felt like I was a kid again looking at those old like zoo books kind of.
That's fun. And they mentioned Pathfinder, but I'm sure you could adapt this for
right. Like I said,
anything.
Because it's not really the stats they write about. It's the more the nature and how they'd act and stuff. And owlbears exist, as I used an example, in D&D. So I mean,
right.
You could probably just copy the stats and maybe fudge things depending on if the creature would make more sense for it to be fire resistant or whatever, you know.
They also exist in real life.
Yes.
As we'll reveal in our final episode of the show. When we hit 5,000 subscribers, we'll show you an owlbear. And what is this beautiful thing? I think I can tell what it is.
This is pretty much, I just thought it was hilarious. It's called the Tablebreaker. It's pretty much a huge D20 die. It's about 5 inches, like made of metal.
Okay. And
I just thought it was hilarious. Like they show using it as like for book cover, like shelves, like holding books and stuff. I thought it was sort of funny. Just if you're in that kind of stuff, I think it was great. I don't think I could buy one, not because of affordability or because I don't like it, but because I know if I had it, my brother would use it and it would actually live up to the name, and he'd probably throw it as hard as he can against the table and break it.
Can you roll it? Could you use it as a real die if you wanted to, or is it really not made for that?
I didn't actually look. I guess I saw it more as a furniture piece, I guess, to me. But.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure, but I don't know. Maybe if you're playing giant D&D at a convention or something like that, could be fun. There's probably better ways to go about doing that, but
I thought it was something cool and different.
They call it the ultimate D20.
Spice up your living room.
That goes for $99 if you want one of those puppies. If you enjoyed this video, it was just a snippet of our full-length podcast, which you can find on our YouTube channel every week. So please go ahead, like, and subscribe for more board game-related content coming at you in the future.
And don't forget to check out rollforcrit.com, where we actually sell a lot of the games we talked about, as well as post news and all our other videos. Until then, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit.